A dragon? Here?
Hello, welcome to PlayStation Access. My name is Dave. I'm joined today by Rob.
Hello.
And Rob, you came back from Summer Game Fest earlier this year, absolutely raving about Dragon Age the Veilguard.
I did.
And now you've got your hands on the whole game.
I have.
I want to hear everything.
I will gladly tell you everything, Dave, because you are right. This was my game of the show for Summer Game Fest. I thought it looked absolutely amazing. I saw the first hour of it, and now I've played the first hour of it and many hours beyond, and I am happy to report that it's lived up to all the expectations I had, having seen that first hour. I think, first of all, I think it looks absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it does.
Like the lighting in this, the water. I've done lots of capture of just me staring at water.
Oh, I know.
I hope you enjoy looking at it when you're making this video, Dave, but I just think it looks astonishing. It's such a beautiful world to explore. I'm not going to go into too much detail about what happens in that opening hour, because especially for returning Dragon Age fans, I don't think you're going to want to know too much about the plot.
Yeah.
I will just say, broad strokes, something goes wrong and a great evil is released into the world.
That old chestnut.
Yeah, and it's your job, i.e. Rook, that's your character who you play as, it's your job to recruit a team of sexy fantasy badasses and stop the bad thing from happening.
Sign me up.
It's basically it.
Yeah.
It's classic BioWare, and it really does feel for me, I think, like BioWare back on top form here.
Yeah.
That is really interesting, just cool characters, characters that you want to hang out with all the time. A character creation system that is really deep. I didn't spend too much time on it because I was very anxious to just get into the game. So I've made a cool looking elf who looks a little bit like Squall from Final Fantasy VIII.
Okay.
A cool scar across his face.
Yep.
Beautiful brown sweeping hair. You can adjust the brightness of the hair in the character creator. But the best thing about the hair, I think, is how bouncy it is. And I have spent quite a lot of time in this game just running my character. Reberius Thorn is his full name. Rook is his nickname. Just running him around in circles, watching his hair bounce up and down.
Well, each to their own.
I think that's where the big strength of Dragon Age the Veilguard is. It's in its cast of characters. And much like BioWare games in the past, like previous Dragon Age games and like Mass Effect, a big part of the thrust of the narrative is you going out and recruiting this team of people who can actually stop this bad thing from happening to the world, and I just love all the characters that you get to recruit. Some of them are returning characters from previous Dragon Age games, not necessarily companions from previous games. So, for instance, Lace Harding was a popular NPC from Dragon Age Inquisition. She's now a companion, a party member.
Oh, cool.
There are a bunch of new characters as well. There are returning characters who used to be your companions in previous games who are now... They just have a different role in the story. They're not like part of your party, but they do appear. Again, I'm not going to spoil who and when they appear, because that's all part of the fun. But I do want to mention a character called Lucanus, who I have really fallen in love with quite a lot. He's such a badass.
Okay.
His nickname is like the Demon of Virantium.
Oh, that's a good nickname.
He is an assassin who specializes in killing mages, and he's also possessed by a demon.
Oh, wow. Side note.
And he has banter with this demon.
Okay.
And the demon's like a bit sassy and funny. None of the other characters can see the demon. Only Lucanus can see the demon.
Is he annoyed about being possessed? Is it like...
Not really.
Okay.
He's like, oh, this isn't ideal, but I deal with it.
Yeah.
It's not something...
At least we get on.
When you first meet him, you have to break him out of a magical prison.
That's cool.
And a vial of his blood has been captured, which means he can't utilize the power of the demon properly. So you have to break the vial of blood, beat up the baddie who's imprisoned him there.
Yeah.
And it's just a cool, fantasy jailbreak. You're breaking out a demon-possessed assassin out of a fantasy prison so you can team up with him and kill some evil elven gods.
Yeah. In other games, that would be the whole narrative. I mean, that is incredible.
It's great. The dialogue options you have with your party are just really fun as well, really satisfying. So there's this area called the Lighthouse, sort of like a hub area where you can hang out in between main story quests And in that typical BioWare fashion, you can talk to your party members, develop relationships with your party members.
Yep.
And typically with the dialogue tree, you'll have like a tough guy option, or a funny option, or, a kind option. But also, I've noticed with every party member so far, a little heart option as well, if you want to pursue a romance.
Yeah.
Which I know you've got history with, Dave, or a lack of history.
A lack of history, yes. I've never managed to romance anybody in a BioWare game yet, but I'll keep trying.
I think this might be your time, Dave. Because from what I can see, all companions are romanceable.
Yeah.
I don't want to claim that I've not met everyone yet, but I am pretty sure from what I've seen, every companion that I've spoken to, there's been a little heart symbol. I'm still at the point where I've not chosen though, so
No.
I've not made a commitment to any one
Keep your
character.
options open.
Keeping my options open. All the characters are so cool, like it's hard to choose.
Yeah.
I've sort of mentioned it a little bit there, but of course there's the choice system, the morality system, that again in classic BioWare fashion is painted in shades of grey. So it's never always obvious what the good option is and what the bad option is, and really that's a bit of a simple way to describe it. There aren't really good options and bad options, and typically you'll have party members who are for one thing and some party members who are for another thing, and you'll just make the best decision you think, and some party members will approve of it and some won't, and you'll get like a little message on screen saying, oh, well, Balara, I didn't really like the way you handled that.
Yeah.
But Harding loved it.
Yeah.
And so also if you're planning on romancing someone, trying to align your actions with what you think they will like might also be like a good choice.
Yes.
Although I don't really condone shaping your personality to fit the person you fancy.
Hey, that's how I've lived my life, so don't judge me.
But I want to talk about the combat and the world as well quickly, because the combat, I think, is a thing that I have personally struggled with in previous Dragon Age games. Not so in Dragon Age the Veilguard. I'm just having an amazing time with it. It feels very immediately satisfying. Like there's a real-time core to it. If I had to compare it to anything, it feels quite God of War Ragnarok-y in that you've got your melee moves, you've got block with the shield, you can parry if you time it right at the last second. I'm playing as a warrior, by the way, so I assume the combat will feel different if you choose to play as a rogue or as a mage. But I've got shield in one hand, sword in the other. You can switch to like a two-handed weapon as well. It feels great to play it in real time, and I think you probably could play through the entire game real time if you wanted. I don't want to, because I love using all of the extra RPG mechanics as well. So you can press R1 to bring up like a pause radial menu where you can select moves from other characters. You can apply status effects, and there are other moves that combine to detonate those status effects. So picking who's in your party quite often comes down to having a look at what moves everyone's got available and how they combine to create good effects for you in battle. Quite often that will mean driving up the enemy stagger bar. When the enemy stagger bar reaches full, they're staggered, and you can perform a really cool finisher on them. Like it's a really, really exciting, satisfying, crunchy combat system. My favourite attack is like a ranged attack where I throw my shield and hit it back with the sword like a boomerang, so you get like 3 or 4 hits with the shield in one go.
That's cool.
It's really cool. The world as well, we're not talking like a big open world here. I don't think any Dragon Age games have really been massively open world. Dragon Age Inquisition is probably as close as we've got. Instead, it's more like hub areas. Again, I'd liken it a little bit to God of War Ragnarok, where you've got areas where you'll arrive there for the story, then you can go back later, do some side quests, peel back the layers of them, discover secrets, they open up and they unravel, and they've got that really nice quality to them where they feel, because it's not open world, they feel really deliberately designed and crafted and rich in detail. And it's, I'm absolutely loving exploring it. I think it looks beautiful, the combat's amazing, and I love all the characters. There's so much more I wish I could dive into now, but we are out of time on the video, unfortunately. All there is to say really is if you like BioWare games and you're a fan of previous Dragon Age games, you like fantasy, this is going to be right up your street. It's so cool.
Yeah, well, you've made it sound exactly what I'm looking for, Rob. If you're looking to get your hands on it, you can do so on the 31st of October, Halloween, no less. It sounds like the perfect antidote to a spooky season if you are like me and prefer something a little bit more fantasy. Thank you for letting us know, Rob. I can't wait to get my hands on it. And thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please do give us a like. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss anything from the world of PlayStation. We'll see you next time.
PlayStation